Referring to a range or a cell in Excel by its column letter and row number is not the only way that you can refer to cells, although it is the most commonly used method. Another way to refer to a cell or to a range of cells is to name the range or cell and to call it by its name. Let's go back to this worksheet where the rate per kilogram and the discount for cash values have been placed in a separate data area. Let's now name these cells so we could later use these names in our formulas. To do this, I'm going to click the Formulas tab on the ribbon and I'm going to click Define Name. Now I want to name this discount for cash cell, so I'm going to call it discount. And I need it to refer to this particular cell. Now I was not very careful and I didn't select this cell before I started, so I'm going to click this icon here to hide this dialog, and now I'm going to click on the correct cell, the one that contains the discount for cash, and then click this icon to expand the dialog back up. Right now the scope of this discount name is going to be for the entire workbook, so if we ever used the word discount it would refer always to this particular cell. I'll click OK and that cell has now been named. Now let's go ahead and do that for rate per kilo, but we'll be a little bit more careful this time and select the cell first. I'll choose Define Name, and you can see that Excel has recognized that the name for this cell could be extracted from the one to its immediate left. That's a typical way of naming cells in a data area. You describe the contents of the cell and then type the actual value next to it, and Excel recognizes that this is a pattern that people often use. Because spaces are not allowed in named ranges, Excel has replaced the spaces with the underscore character. It's also already preset the range to point to cell C2. So I can just click OK to accept that as the name for this particular cell. When cells are named, you can use the Name Manager dialog to learn more about the named ranges. Here you can see that we have two named ranges in our worksheet, the value of each and the cells that they refer to. In addition, when you have a named range, you can select it here from the name box. If I click Discount, I'll be taken immediately to the cell that contains the discount for cash. That's the named cell. And if I click Rate per kilogram, I'll be taken to that cell. It's also possible to name ranges automatically. Let's go back to our other worksheet, the Season Sales worksheet. And I'm going to name these ranges automatically. I want this set of data to be called Product A and this one Product B, and I want this to be called Winter. So I'm going to select over the entire worksheet data area, including the headings. And then from the Formulas tab, I'm going to click Create from Selection. Excel has recognized that there are headings in the top row and the left column of this data. That's typically the way people would describe data, and so it's suggesting that I would want to create names from these values, which is what I want to do. So I'll click OK to accept this setting. Now let's look in the Name Range box here. As you can see, we have areas that have been named Fall, Spring, Summer and Winter, and Product A, B, C and D. When I click Spring, this is the range that has been named Spring. And this one here has been named Product B. So we can go to those areas, we can read them off in the Name Manager dialog, and shortly we can use these in formulas as well.